Hello, all. Good evening. Am I visible and audible?
Yes,
Myself, Shubhi Bansal. I am a PhD scholar from Indian Institute of Technology Indore and also a PMRF candidate. I am the TA for the NPTEL course on the systems and usable security. So, we'll be starting soon. Let's wait for others to join for 5 minutes. Okay? Else we will start. We'll start around 6:10. Is it fine?
it's okay.
Okay.
Before that, I have some questions. If you can look into that.
Okay. You can share your screen.
Okay. Actually, I posted the questions in ask a question. We have forum, right? In that one, I
Yes.
did,
Yes.
but I didn't get reply over there.
Okay. Can you share your screen?
Yes, I'm doing. Are you able to see?
Yes. No. Yes, I am able to see. Tell.
Yeah. This is assignment one, question nine, wherein the correct answers were system-induced error and data rewritten by malicious attacker.
Hmm.
So when we consider data is rewritten by malicious attacker, why can't we consider meet in the middle attack also as one of the answer?
Just let me go through the question. This is an
Sure.
assignment question.
Yes, yes. First assignment.
700 1700.
Okay, I think why you couldn't consider it as meet in the middle was.
See, when we look at the data rewritten,
Mm-hmm.
by the word rewritten itself indicates like somebody in the middle has done that one, right?
But it's not necessary, right? That every time someone else has to do it.
Then who else can do that?
It could be like some contents of the file were deleted or not saved by the user himself when he was sending the data.
No,
Like,
but we are saying data rewritten
or
by malicious attacker, right? That attacker can be a person in the middle.
where is it written? It is attacked by some malicious user. Here you
No,
see.
the correct answers we are saying are system induced error and data rewritten by malicious attacker
Mm-hmm.
as per the key.
Yeah.
So my question is when we are saying attacker is rewriting that one in the middle, rewriting,
Mm-hmm.
so we can consider as he is in the middle and meet in the middle attack, right? Obviously, the attacker cannot be the source or destination. So obviously, he will be in the middle itself.
But I don't think that it should necessarily be meet in the middle attack. See, it is like why they say here data rewritten by malicious attacker because the checksum value is turning out to be different from original, right? For
Yeah.
this
So
meet
that
in the
means
middle
the
attack,
content has been modified.
for meet in the middle attack, he should know what is the private key of the checksum. Like the cryptographic thing should be there, right? Public key, private key, public key of the sender, private key of the sender, public key of the receiver, like that the information should be there. So
In that
that's
case,
why
how this malicious attacker is getting all those details?
malicious attacker is not getting those details. I am telling you why it cannot be meet in the middle attack. It is not saying that malicious attacker is getting access to the public key and the private key. That is not there.
No, it can be like whatever the data we have. I may not be having the public key, private key, all those things. I just change the content. That's it.
Yeah, that's why if you're just changing the content, that's why the answer is given as data rewritten by malicious attacker, not meet in the middle. If you are to perform this meet in the middle attack, it is necessary that you have the access to those kind of keys. If you are aware that Alice and Bob is there, and sir has given that example in the lecture, I would like you to revisit the lecture in which it says like Alice and Bob is there and some other person as Joe comes, and then he manipulates the data using the private key of Alice with which he has sent the data, and he also knows what is the public key of Bob.
No, it's like even in the question also we never said like the man in the middle has these details. We from your explanation we just have to assume like he doesn't have all those access.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Now he is not aware of what the public key and the private key is. Here, the only thing that it says is they have modified some data.
Okay, and I have
Checksum,
one more.
checksum, if
Yeah.
you remember, it is the way to ensure that the confidential information is not modified, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
But if that value itself is modified, the data written in the file is not modified, but the protection measure that is taken to check against the attack itself is modified. If you remember, in case of man in the middle attack, they directly try to manipulate the contents of the file, right? But
yes.
here, if you go back to your previous question, what it is trying to say, they have not modified the contents of the file, they have modified the checksum value itself. Are you getting my point?
Yes, yes.
Is it clear, or shall I elaborate little more?
No, I'll look into that.
Okay.
And one more doubt I had with respect to first question.
Mm-hmm.
The question says like consider a network with several hosts
Hmm.
X, Y, and so on L and HTTP web browser, and it says like the server has different files for its users. One such file is number.txt, and the content stored in that particular file is this one.
Hmm.
It says the server has different files for its users, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one such file is number.txt. That means uh, in the question it says like y has received that file and it belongs to y. In that case, whether x has access to number.txt.
Just a second. Configure a network with several hosts.
I'll try to open the original question as well. Shall I do that?
Just a second. Can I just go through the question, please?
Sure, sure. No, actually here we don't have complete question. That's why I wanted to open that.
Okay, then open.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, so what is your doubt?
So here we are saying like each user they have different files, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that case, are we assuming like all files are accessible by every user?
No, no. See, you cannot assume that all the files can be accessed by all the users. Then it should be like a broadcast message from the server if that is the case. But here it says, see the second line, it is written clearly. HTTP server has different files for its users.
Yeah, so the correct answer, one of the correct answer is X is authorized for number.txt,
Mm-hmm.
but that number.txt belongs to Y, right?
No, but see, it's not like a file should exclusively belong to one user. There is no such word written that let's say number or .txt is the file. It can only belong to user Y. It can also belong to X, right? It's not nowhere the word is mentioned as exclusive access for a user. If you see,
But we here it is saying like
it
different
just
files for
says
each user.
see, it just says different files for its user. It does not say one file for one user.
Okay, okay,
Is it clear? It's not like
okay,
exclusive,
sure, sure.
it's selective.
Okay,
I hope it's clear from the second statement itself, see, and hence the answer follows.
okay.
Okay, I hope I was able to clear your doubts. In case you still have any doubt and the question is not answered, you could drop a mail regarding the same.
Sure, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so not much people have joined today. Anyways, we will start the session.
Actually, all of the three are from same college.
Sorry?
All the three who joined are from same college.
Okay, okay, that's great. I hope the you are able to follow the course content as well as the tutorials, live sessions.
Yes, yes.
So let us begin. Just a second. I'll share my screen, okay? Give me a second. Today we'll so I already introduced myself. I'll introduce once again since new members must have joined today. So myself Shubhi Bansal. I am pursuing PhD from Indian Institute of Technology Indore. I am a PMRF fellow and your TA for the course, NPTEL course on systems and usable security. And today we are having our live session 3 for the same course. So let us start with the problems. I hope my screen is visible to you.
Yes, mom.
Yes, so please, this is the question regarding DKIM signature. So I would like you to attempt it. Then we can discuss what is the correct answer and all. Okay, so please give it an attempt. I'll read out the question for you. An email it is received, but it does not carry a DKIM signature. So, which of the following is a correct statement? Whether the mail is just a second, I don't know where it came from. So, the options are given whether the mail was received from a fake source or it is sent from a fake source or the domain is not authentic or not trusted. Which of the following is correct? You have to tick. And it can be the case that multiple option is correct. So, I hope the question is clear. Give it a time. I'll give you some time to solve. Then we can discuss what is the correct answer and why. Just a second. Yeah. So, were you able to attempt? What is the correct answer? C or A? We have two options in the chat box. C. Why? Why do you
So
think so?
DKIM basically authenticates source, and when we don't have signature, probably it may be like we don't have source authentication, and it may be a fake source.
It is asking about the correct statement. No one has listed the correct answer. The correct answer is option D. Okay, I think. Just a second. The correct answer is here. Option D.
No, if D is like it does not imply that source domain is not trusted, then it may
Hmm.
be correct, right?
Sorry?
If answer D says it does imply that source domain is not trusted, then we can go with D, right?
Just a second. Just a second. What you were saying? Could you repeat?
My meaning is like it implies that source domain is not trusted.
But the correct answer is given as option D. It does not imply that the source domain is not trusted.
When we have two not, it indicates like source is trusted as per
Yes.
D.
Yeah.
But when we don't have DKIM, can we say source is trusted?
First of all, tell me the definition of DKIM.
See, basically DKIM is for authenticating an email that the receiver can check and confirm like whatever the mail which we have received is from genuine source.
Hmm.
When we do not have DKIM, it is opposite to that one, right?
Then I think answer D might be wrong in this case. I will update it to you in the forum. Okay.
Okay. Probably the
Because if it is
answer,
carrying a DKIM signature, then the sender must be verified, right?
yes.
But according to the option, if we see, it says that if it were like if it were carrying a DKIM signature, then this option would have been correct, right?
Yes.
Because not if you take negation of negation, it would cancel out. It would eventually mean it implies that the source domain is trusted rather than being fake or not fake or authentic. It verifies whether the sender is trustable or not, right? So maybe I'll update it to you. Might be
Okay.
the answer is incorrect that is given in the sheet, है ना? I'll update it to you in the forum then.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Then let's go to the next question in that case. So, what is meme? MIME?
Multi-purpose mail exchange.
Yes. So, we have to tick the correct options. Here, four options have been given. One or more can be correct. So, you have to tick accordingly. We'll give you 5 minutes to solve. Tick all the ones that you think would justify and why as well. Why? Because we need to know if the certain thing is correct, why it is correct or incorrect. So give it a try, all of you, those who are present. We'll discuss it shortly. And once you have solved, you can put your answers in the chat box. If time allows, I will discuss the questions. If time allows, we'll also discuss the questions for the previous assignment. Okay? Or if you have any doubts, you can ask in the middle as well. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Please give it a try to this question. So, have you attempted? Shall we discuss? Very easy questions are there, definition based, so that we can know how far we have understood the concepts. So, the first thing is, as someone has rightly pointed out, someone has marked the answers as A and B, but your answer is only partially correct. Let us see why. So, the correct answer, let me tell you first of all, what is the correct answer for this question. So, the correct answer is A and C. Why? Let us see. So, it requires every user to generate a pair of public and private keys. This is the one of the basic properties also discussed in the lecture. Then, I hope this is clear, or shall I explain this part? Every user that is sending or generating should have the pair of the public and the private keys in case they want to exchange any media. And in the why option C is correct, mail should be encrypted using the public key of the sender. Why? So that anybody can send the mail to the user. So that anybody can send data or media to the designated user. That's why it should have the public key of the sender. or to the sender means the designated user to whom you intend to send the data to. Only if you have the public key of the sender you will be able to send it. Cryptography principles. And in case you want to read what is the content of the message, what you should have? What you should be having?
We should be having private key.
Yes. But in case you want to send the data to a specific user, you should have his public key. Only to retrieve the data, what is the confidential data or what is the message being transmitted, you need the private key. Hence option D turns out to be false.
See, for example, I am sending a mail to you.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, I have to use your public key, right?
Yes, yes, you have to use
That
my
means
public.
you are receiver, right? Not sender.
Oh, sorry. Uh, you are saying you want to send the data to me, right?
Yes. I am the sender and you are receiver.
Yeah, so as I am the receiver, I should be having the private key of the sender, right?
How you will be having private key of sender?
Sorry, I should be having the public key of the sender, not the private key.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why it's written, na, mail should be encrypted using the public key of the sender. Let's say you are having, let's say this is the
No.
sender, this is the receiver, and he wants to send a message M. So that message should be encoded with his public key. Only then he will be able to retrieve. प्राइवेट की तो सिर्फ रिसीवर को खुद का पता होगा और सेंडर को अपना पता होगा, है ना?
Yeah, if sender is encrypting with sender's public key,
हाँ.
receiver cannot decrypt, right?
Why he can decrypt with the public key? Why he cannot decrypt with the public
No,
key?
when you are encrypting with sender's public key, you should be having sender's private key to decrypt that one.
I don't think so.
Yes, basically pairing is like my private key paired with my public key, right?
See, why it should be encrypted with the public key of the sender so that I can send data to the designated user or to any user. Let's say server wants to send the data to you. So it
No.
should be having your public key. Server should have its public key so that it can send data to any user.
I'm just quoting, I'm just sending in chat the definition of that. You can see that.
Okay. See, for encrypting you need the public key, but for decrypting you need the private key of the sender. Here we are talking about the encryption, not the decryption. What you are talking about is the decryption, that you need my private key for that purpose.
See, if I am the sender,
Yeah.
I'll be having my private key, my
Yes.
public key.
Yes.
If I am encrypting with my public key, will
Yeah.
you be able to decrypt with my private key?
Yes. In that case, I should be knowing what your private key is, right?
Then what is the meaning of private key? Private itself means like except me, nobody else know
No,
about it,
no,
right?
no, no. That is not the meaning of private. Private is there so that you only the person who is intended to receive the message should read it. Only if I am the only if I am the legitimate user to whom you want to send the data. It's like I have your password. in order I want to retrieve the message. It's not like the password you set on your system. It's like an OTP. The bank sends you the OTP. You should be knowing it's sorry, OTP would be a wrong example here. It's like to the person whom you want to send the data, he should know what your private key is. It's not solely that it's my private key, so it should be known only to me. You should revisit
No,
the
no, no.
concept of cryptography and the asymmetric key encryption.
Actually, somewhere you are missing the point. We have two things: private key and public key. Public key means it is available for everyone in the world. Private key is available only for me. Nobody
No.
else in the world will have what is my private key.
Am I missing out on a concept or are you missing out on a concept?
I have been teaching NSC for several years.
Have you visited this concept?
Yeah. See, simple. If I want to sign a particular message, I will use my private key. If I want to provide confidentiality, I will be using receiver's public key.
Just a second. I will tell you.
Okay. Okay.
What I know, maybe I can correct myself, but let's see. See, can you see it here? Asymmetric key cryptography.
Yeah.
So see, they are encrypting the data using the public key, but for decryption they need the private key.
But whose public key, whose private key? That is the question.
Just a second. See, can you see my screen? I hope it is visible.
Yeah.
The private key, can you see what I'm highlighting? Private key is intended to be private, so only the authenticated recipient can decrypt the message. What your definition is, only you should know your private key.
Yeah, that's what. For example, if I am encrypting with your public key,
Hmm.
only you will be able to decrypt because you have
No, you are
your
not
private key.
encrypting with my public key. You are encrypting with your public key. See what the question is. Encrypted using the public key of the sender and not the receiver. You are the sender, right? In case I want to decrypt the message that you have sent to me, I should know your public key. Oh, sorry. In that case, I should know your private key. But you have encrypted the data using your public key and not my public key. That's what I am saying from the starting.
See,
Can you read this example? See, I'm not explaining it to you using an example of my own because, as you pointed out, that I am missing on a concept. That's why I've opened a blog and that's why I'm showing it to you. They allow you to create the public keys for the agents to encrypt the information and a private key to decrypt it. And the private key and the public key, both of the sender, not the receiver. That's a one-way communication.
uh, just a minute.
An
Let
asymmetric key encryption. We are not talking about the symmetric key.
no. Can you just go up?
Yeah. See, can you go through this paragraph?
Yeah, yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah.
See, whatever the paragraph you are showing, it correctly says like public key is used for encryption and private key is used for decryption.
Yeah, that's what I
But
said, right?
but the thing is, they are not saying whether the public key of sender you are using or receiver you are using, right?
Array. But see now, what you also see this. I am a spy agency. I am sending the message and I want to decrypt them all. So whose public key and whose private key I'll be using? Obviously of the sender only. It's a one-way communication.
Just go a little bit down. They talk about how key is generated, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe I'll send you this link in the chat box.
okay.
Just go
See,
through it right now, and
no,
in case you still
basically,
have doubt, we'll clarify. Only then we'll proceed.
no, basically the thing is private key is never shared. That is what I mean to say.
As far as I have read, I have never come across this concept that it should not be shared.
No, I'm not getting William Stalling textbook, or else I would have shown that.
Yeah, it will be great if you could kindly find and share it with me right now.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Just let me plug in the charger. Give me a minute.
Sure.
I will share this. I found one very interesting blog. You can refer to it and get your concept clear. Have you found the reference to the text you were talking of?
Yeah, I'm just checking it. Shall I share?
Yes.
So, are you able to see it?
Wait. It just, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, in public key crypto systems, we have two cases. One is if you want to have secrecy, how to encrypt, and the other is if you want to have authentication, how to encrypt. In this case, we are trying to achieve secrecy, wherein if you see encryption is done using public key of receiver. Okay, PUB is a public key of receiver, PRB is private key of receiver. Encryption is done using public key of receiver. Decryption is done using private key of receiver because only B has private key of B. Okay, nobody else in the world will be able to decrypt that one. That's how we are making sure like secrecy is maintained. Okay, when we go with this one, authentication, basically nobody else in the world has to generate the message which I am signing. So I'll be encrypting with private key of A. So nobody else in the world will have my private key. If I encrypt with that, everybody in the world they can decrypt and confirm like this is coming from A. Because if I have to decrypt, they should be having public key of A. This is how we do authentication. When we go with SMIME, we are talking about secrecy. So we are trying to encrypt with receiver's public key, decrypt with private key of receiver.
Oh. Let me see again. Just a second.
Oh, okay, okay.
You might be right about encryption and decryption algorithm, but if you see this, the article link that I'm just sending you, can you just look at this blog link?
Yeah.
If you come down to this point, I will tell. S-MIME encryption. Can you scroll and come there?
Yeah.
So see, can you please give it a read?
You mean to
Yeah,
read confidentiality
yeah.
thing? No, here we're just saying like confidentiality is like only the intended receiver should be able to see the content. Nobody else in the world should be able to see.
Yeah, so why it is locking it with the public key of the sender is that so that it can send the message to any user.
No, confidentiality and secrecy both you can consider same, right?
Will it they be considered same? Are you sure?
Yeah. So, see, that's what we are saying here. Confidentiality. When I look at this particular diagram, if I am encrypting with public key of receiver, Who has private key to decrypt that one? Only B has that one. So I am able to achieve that confidentiality, right?
Oh, okay. I think by mistake, what I did was, let me share my screen again.
Yeah.
I think your argument is correct, and the correct answer should have been A and B rather than being A and C.
Yeah.
This is the point that you are trying to say, right?
Yes, yes. A and B, they are correct answer.
Yeah. Sorry for the mistake.
Yeah, no problem.
So the correct answer will be A and B. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for correcting.
Yeah, no problem.
So the correct answer is A and B. So shall we move to the next question?
Sure.
Yeah. So here you have to identify which of the following protocols will not be used in the case of email transfer or email communication. One or more can be correct. Give it a try all, and please put your answers in the chat box. I want all of you to attempt this question. This is an easy one. Shall we discuss? All have attempted?
Yes.
The correct answer is option D, as many of you have marked it. What is SMTP?
Simple mail transfer protocol.
Yeah, the name itself indicates that this is a protocol for transferring the emails. And what is POP and when it
Like
is used?
to retrieve mail.
To retrieve mail. It's like a push pull protocol, right?
Yeah.
And IMAP is the Internet Message Transfer Protocol, which is specifically designed for transferring the emails itself. And HTTP is used for transferring your hypermedia. What kind of file specifically? HTML files, right?
Yeah.
So that's why the correct answer will be option D. Which kind of the mail is not used in the mail communication? So let's move forward to the next question. Which of the following is not used for encryption in SSL? What is SSL?
Secure socket layer.
Yeah. So SSL here stands for Secure Socket Layer. Mark your answers and put them in the chat box. We will discuss. Others also, please give it a try. Please give it a try. So others, are you still attempting? I see answers only from one person in the chat box every time. Why others are not responding? Everyone, please give it a try. I'll give you 2 more minutes to go through this question. I'll share my screen. Just a second. It should be fish bowl instead of fish bowl. So, what is the correct answer? Answer is option B itself, fish bowl. DES means data encryption standard. That is a block cipher technique used to encrypt the data, and this is the triple data encryption standard that applies the DES protocol in itself. And RC5 is also used to secure the transmissions, and hence it is used for encryption in SSL. The only protocol that is not being used here is Fishbowl. Why do we not use it? It is used to set the passwords in the Windows system, mainly for that purpose. and not used for encryption, mainly for providing the password management to the window users. Is it clear? Anyone if having any doubt, so please let me know. So fishbowl is used to provide or set secure passwords for the Windows system, not for the SSL systems, SSL algorithm. Shall we move ahead to the next question? Is the explanation clear to all? If
Yes.
not, please ask. Anybody having any little doubt, please ask. Guys, are you there?
Yes, we can move to next question.
Yeah. So we also want to know what are the statements that are true about the SSL record, whether it calculates the hash of the email MAC CRC. What is CRC?
Redundancy check, cross redundancy check.
Yes. And checksum, we know what is checksum?
That is also one error detection and correction scheme.
Yes. Hamming code is a form of checksum or not?
Yes, we can consider.
Yes, correct. So now you please mark the statements that are correct about the SSL record platform. Multiple options can be correct. In the exam, you have to figure it out on your own for which question you have to mark the multiple option correct or not. There will be partial marking, so please be considerate with all the four options which should be correct and why. That's why I always tell you to reason out why a particular option for a particular question is wrong. So please give it a try and put your answers in the chat box. We'll discuss shortly. So someone is saying A and C are correct. Some say A, some say B. Okay, let us see. So let me tell you, the correct answer is option B. What is MAC here?
Message authentication code.
Yes. What SSL does is, let's say this is the sender, this is the receiver. It wants to send some message M. It uses the MAC algorithm, and whatever the MAC value, or let's say it has got, it will append at the end of the message. And the sender knows this value. If at the receiver and the same MAC value, what he will also compute the MAC value. And if the MAC value that is obtained by the receiver is the same that is sent by the sender, appended at the end of the message, then it assumes that the content of the message is intact, it has not been modified by anyone along the way. Okay. And that on like message authentication code is like, it is used to identify or authenticate that the receiver has received the exact same message that was sent by the sender, and it has not been modified while coming along the way. So is it clear, the explanation part?
Yes.
So I'll repeat again. What the sender does is, it is using this MAC algorithm, message authentication code algorithm, and it will calculate a MAC value. Whatever the MAC value it will get, it will append at the end of the message. That is the actual that is sent by the sender. Okay. Then at the receiver end, he will also calculate the MAC value, because he is why he will calculate, he is using the same key as of the sender, and it will also apply the MAC algorithm, and it will, let's say whatever the sender send is the actual MAC value, and whatever here the receiver is computing, that is the computed or the predicted MAC value. So if the actual MAC value is equal to predicted MAC value, we say that the message is intact. That is, the contents of the message have not been modified along the way. So this is how it ensures that the message is secure. It is clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Please go through these terms, whatever the terms you are encountering in your assignment. Do take them seriously. If they more or less, they would have been covered in the lecture or in the tutorials or in the live sessions. In case they are not covered and you want to go into more depth, please ensure that you know, since now we have this word appeared like MAC on the email data, you should be very careful, like what is the MAC algorithm, how it works, why, which protocol uses it, and how it is used. Okay. So like one question that can come out of here is whether the like with this same one, whether the actual or the predicted MAC value is the same, in which protocol it is being used. Okay. Whether this MAC value is appended at the end of the message or the beginning, or it is sent to the receiver after the message is transmitted, or what is the scenario. So you should be very clear with every term that comes. Take it as a concept, and try to go it into more depth. Okay. Moving on to the next question. So please give an attempt to this. A web page is having a form which takes username as password as the inputs, and we need to prevent them from sniffing and eavesdropping when we are sending over the internet. So what protocol we can use to prevent the username as well as the password. So the correct options are given to you as SSL, TLS, HTTPS, or all. So here one or more can be correct, but since the option is all, so try to see that if it is single option correct or not. Be careful that you are sending this data over the network and you want to protect it against sniffing as well as eavesdropping. You should be very careful what protocol we are using and why we are using. Okay. Let others also give it a try. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Pranati is not replying. Please, Pranati, give a try. I'll display the question again. Correct, Pranati. Correct answer. Let us see why. So first of all, the answer is option D, where SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer. It is used when we have to transfer the data between the web browser and the server. What is TLS? Transport Layer Security. So it is used to provide the protection mechanism to what? Which protocol? HTTPS. And what is the full form of HTTP itself? Is the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Secure. When you want to communicate securely over the web or the network. So in this case, you want to communicate, and in this form of your communication, you are sending the username as well as the password. And since you want to provide the secure communication that is preventing from the sniffing and eavesdropping, you definitely need to use HTTPS. And TLS is a kind of security mechanism for HTTPS, hence this is also correct. And SSL is used when you are transferring the data between the browser and the server. On the browser, the form is being displayed, and once you enter the credentials, it will go for the processing and get stored on the server, right? So when you are filling out the Google form, you are browsing it in Google, and the server that is you storing your data at the back end is Google itself. So that's why. Is it clear?
Yes.
Great. Then let's move to the next question. So here the question is regarding the definition of a revocation list. Please fill out the correct options. It can be multiple option correct as well that you have to figure out. We'll give you 2 to 3 minutes. It's a basic definition based question. So please give it a try. Two more minutes. It's a simple definition based question. option B. Let me discuss. See, we already have this. So let me tell you here, the correct answer is option B. So it is a certificate which has been invalidated before its expiry date. See, let me explain what is the difference between option A and option B. So it is a certificate that has been invalidated before its expiry date, and the two states of the revocation. Revocation means stopped, revoked, that an order was given to you before or issued to you before and now it has been drawn back. That is the meaning of revocation. So what are the two states of revocation? It could be revoke or hold, where revoke is like the permanent ban, irreversible procedure, and hold means for some time being, like temporary. So hold is a temporary. These are the two states for the revocation. And in what case will it be revoked? Like let's say if it thinks that the private key is compromised or it is no longer secure, providing security to the user, then it is one of the case it will be revoked. Is it clear? So why some people are ticking option A? I am not sure why. Expired certificate. When does a product expire? Like let's say the date is mentioned as 8/23 for the expiry of the product. Now this date is reached. We have reached August 23. Now this product will no longer be in use. Okay, but in the case of revocation, it's the scenario that 8/23 was not achieved, it was not reached, and before that it turns out that some components were contaminated or like the private key was compromised in terms of security. The date was not reached. See, there is a difference between the certificate expiring. Certificate expiring is you have reached the end date, but in this case the certificate turns out to be invalidated. Invalid means it is no longer serving the purpose and you have not reached the expiry date. Before that only it became invalid. And invalid in the case of whether it was revoked or it was kept on hold. Revoked when the private key was compromised or not. So is it clear why option A is incorrect and B is correct? Option D can never
Yes.
be the case. The validity will not be extended and it will not be renewed even in the case of a hold state. Though it is temporary, but it will not be in hold. This can be a very special case if the certificate is renewed or not. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes. Yes.
Let's move to the next question. So that's why I tell you, even if it's a definition based question, we should be clear which option is correct, which is incorrect. Why? Because in the exam they will modify the options from here or make a question out of one of the options that is available here. So you will be remembering that you have seen this concept, and if you have done an exhaustive analysis, you will be able to figure out why how this question was manipulated and now what is the correct answer or the correct approach to solve this question. So you should be analyzing each and every option very critically. Every time I keep on repeating this in all of my NPTEL sessions So please be very careful. Analyze every topic or every word or every option that you encounter in your assignments very critically. That helps you to solve, that helps you to get an understanding of the concepts in a better way, understand what went on in during the lecture, and apply that knowledge as well. And definitely it will boost your performance during the exam. So let's try this question. Four options have been given regarding encapsulating security protocol. You just have to identify what will be the pad length and next header size, what will be the total length, and whether what will be on right or left of what. So it's like identifying the structure of the protocol. Like in TCP, we have the structure, payload structure. What is a payload? Can anybody tell?
The content which we are sending.
Yes, the message. I give you 2 to 3 minutes. Please think thoroughly and only then you mark the correct option. Direct definition based question, but still please think carefully because there are a lot of protocols to remember, so you should be very careful. Maybe for your exam you can create, before your exam you can create a sheet in which you can write what is the protocol, what is the payload size, what is the header size, so that it's easy to recall and to remember. You should know what is the structure for the TCP protocol, for the HTTP, and there are so many other protocols. Like if you remember this slide, we saw these IMAP POP3. So both are the mail transfer protocols, but there is a very distinguishing feature of POP3 and IMAP. So you should be very careful what that distinguishing feature is, when to use which one. So if you analyze this way and go through the questions, then most of the things will be clear. Because directly or indirectly, they have been covered during the lecture or the tutorial or the live session. Simple definition based question, 2 more minutes. Please put your answers in the chat box. Others, please give it a try. There is only answer from one person till now. I'm waiting for answers from other two as well. Only then we will proceed for the discussion. As most of you have marked it correctly, the correct answer is option A. And also let us see what is the structure of this ESP protocol. So let me just redraw it. Are you aware, or shall I draw the structure and tell? Maybe I will tell once. I want you to remember it thoroughly for your exams as well. For different protocols, this structure will vary. So kindly remember it. It will be very helpful for you only. So first of all, you are having some security parameter here. I had written it earlier also. You will have a sequence number here. And somewhere here you will have the pad length and the next header. That's why we say it is right aligned. And that is what field they asked in the question, 32 bits, right? And what will be here? Here will be your payload data, and one more field will be there towards the end. What is that? What is there towards the end?
Authentication data.
So mostly they ask these points only. What is the header size? This is the most asked question. And some places they will ask sequence number. What is the length? In some places, like if you remember here, some places sequence number will come next to the header. So that's why they have asked you whether the header is right aligned or left aligned in the question. So that's why you need to remember this block diagram for every protocol. So let's go to the next question. So in IPsec tunnel mode, which of the following will be protected? Whether the entire packet. So this entire thing is known as what? Can you tell? What do we call it as?
ESP header.
No, no, this entire thing, packet, right? If you remember, as we are going through that architecture, TCP architecture, at what point it is called as a segment or a message or a packet, right? Data link layer or TCP layer. There is a different name, what the message, what the payload or the message is called in that layer, right? So in that point, you need to remember that as well. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes.
So here now in IPsec tunnel mode, you need to identify which of the following will be protected. It can be multiple option correct or single option correct. Please mark the correct answers and put them in the chat box. 2 to 3 minutes to attempt. Hardly it should take 30 seconds to mark these types of the questions. But you can take here, you can take 2 to 3 minutes. Already they have given you the mode. Be very careful. Answer is hidden here itself. What is the full form of IPsec?
IP security.
In which layer it is used, the internet protocol?
Network layer.
Yeah. Most important, most important. TCP and IP. Most important is IP and the network layer communication. You have questions like what is the size of the data, right? What is the header size? You get mostly these type of the questions in this layer. What is the size of the header for the data link layer? Numerical type of questions, as if you people have given gate, or if you have encountered the gate question answer booklet, most of the questions are of that format. So what is the correct answer here? What will be protected? I'll give a minute again. I think you're not still not ready with the answer. Please put your answer in the chat box. I'm waiting to discuss. Kirthana, there is only two are left. Okay, both have answered them. Fine. Yeah, the correct answer is the entire packet will be protected in the tunnel mode. So, what does the tunnel mode refer here? What does tunnel mode refer to here? How is it achieved?
You are going to have header attached in front of IP.
Yeah, and you achieve this through the VPN, right? Virtual private network.
Yeah.
That's what I was intending to ask here. So, another way of framing this question will be entire IP packet is protected in which of the following mode? There are two phases right here. IPE case key phase 1, IPE key phase 2. That you need to remember what are the phases, right? In which mode it will be protected, how that mode is achieved. That mode is achieved through VPN, right? So these kind of little questions by modifying the data here and there, if you are thorough with the IP protocol, then you will be able to answer. As someone rightly pointed out, header will be attached. So in which direction the header will be, whether it will be towards the left or towards the right. What is the payload call in the network layer? It is called as a packet. In the TCP layer, it will be called as a segment, right? What it is called in the data link layer, what it is called in the application layer. That kind of questions you need to focus on a lot. These are very little MCQ based questions that can be asked, and like out of these questions they can create multiple statements, a option statement A, statement B, statement C and D, and then ask you to mark the correct statement. So please practice that kind of questions as well, as many of you keep me asking in the sessions what kind of questions to practice, from where to practice. So this is one possible area and one possible way how they manipulate and ask. So last
So
question for today's session.
some of the things which you are saying they can be as question, they are part of computer networks, right?
Yeah,
So
but they can still be asked here, right?
okay. So you mean to say like even those terminology we should be familiar with?
Yeah, see, if you have read computer networks, you will be getting an advantage here, understanding what a packet is, what a payload is, right? What is TCP handshake,
Yes, yes,
three-way handshake. If we do not know, let's say we do not know the computer networks basics, can I be able to make you understand the SIM flood attack? First, I have to give you a background if you do not have know the computer network subject, right?
yes,
As the professor has also mentioned on his course page, the basic prerequisite for this course is computer networks, right?
yes.
Like it's
If
we
I
consider
understand
it as
correctly, should be I may expect questions which are not directly mentioned in the course or course material. If it is something basic in nature from computer networks, we can also expect questions regarding that.
Yes, yes. See, this IP, if I ask you here like IPsec, I asked you the full form. Someone said IP security, but then I'm also wanting to know what IP is, right?
Right.
So if we are not thorough with the basics, we will be able to understand the concept, but not at a root level, right? So it's very important that we get to know. According to me, you should be very thorough. Rest is like up to you how much time you can devote.
Okay.
Yeah. So please attempt this one question as well. What of the which of the following is not true about the IP security? I hope my screen is visible to you all. Four options have been given. We have all the four options, two by everyone. The correct answer here is option A and B. It can prevent the insider and the logic bomb attacks. See, seamless integration of users located at different places. This, I think, more specifically will be the area that you will consider under the application layer, right?
Yeah, I missed to see the not part. Actually,
Acha,
IBM.
acha, acha. Okay, okay. I hope it is clear why C and D is not correct. Or shall I explain?
No, it's clear.
Huh? It's clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So the correct answer here will be option A and B. I wanted to cover some of the questions regarding the previous assignment 2 related. I will see if I can cover them in the last session, or I will post them on the discussion forum if I am not able to cover in the last session. Because of the tutorial on Linux, I think we have missed some question that I could have given you. I will see if next session we can cover. Okay.
Okay.
So if you have any doubt, please ask. Content from my side is over for today. So are you able to follow the tutorial lecture like this live session questions and answers if you have attended?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Vikas. Sorry for the typo in the beginning of the session today for not seeing the option B and marking correct as option C, though we were able
No
to figure it
issues. No
out.
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope your questions from the discussion forum were clear. In case they are still not clear, please write back to me at this email address I am posting in the chat box.
Actually, I shared an email to your PhD mail ID.
Haha. Okay, I might have missed it. Sorry for that.
No issues.
Next time I'll try to be like look at your questions in the discussion forum as well.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank you.
joining today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.